ascertaining professionalism. Thank you for joining us. Now the news in detail. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, in pursuant to the Constitution of the Republic of Malawi, Chapter 4, which enshrines the right to life, and in recognition of the urgent need to mitigate threats posed by waterborne diseases arising from inadequate sanitation and hygiene, has ordered that all public places, including but not limited to markets, bus depots, car parks, recreational facilities, and venues for public gatherings shall provide and maintain waste disposal facilities. President Mutharika has also ordered that schools and workplaces, whether public or private, should provide and maintain waste disposal facilities within and surrounding premises. This order shall be enforceable by law and shall take effect immediately upon issuance. Government has called for smarter and more strategic Chinese investments in Malawi as the Chinese community celebrates the Lunar New Year. Minister of Foreign Affairs George Chaponda says Malawi is ready to strengthen economic cooperation but needs investments that create jobs and strengthen local production. We have a report.
The Chinese Spring Festival celebrations in Lilongwe brought together government officials, diplomats, investors and members of the Chinese community living in Malawi. In his keynote address, Minister of Foreign Affairs George Chaponda described Malawi-China relations as strong and enduring, but said the focus must now shift toward high-impact investment.
To celebrate the Lunar New Year, the year of the horse, to us, we don't take this as something for granted, but it is showing that they love Malawi and they would like to continue to be in the country to help us. We are pleased for what they have been doing. They have been with us in times of need. For instance, whenever we have floods, they have come to help us. Whenever there's hunger, as we have known recently, they have come to contribute. Whenever there's an issue like current situation, as you know, they have come and given us a donation. We appreciate and we want this thing to continue.
Chinese ambassador to Malawi, Lu Sung, said the new year symbolizes a fresh chapter in bilateral relations.
I'm very confident that we are going to enjoy better friendship and better relationship in the coming new year by putting more efforts into it. And we are going to, probably later, I will have a very big news to announce.
Members of the Chinese business community say major investments are under talks. Junming Jianping of Hangtao Investments Group outlined plans for large-scale logistics project aimed at reducing the cost of goods in Malawi.
For logistics, we are looking at around 30% of price reduction of all consumer goods due to this project being able to cut the cost of shipping, transport for goods and services.
The Chinese Lunar New Year celebration symbolizes renewal and prosperity. The celebration ended with renewed commitments to transform diplomatic ties into tangible economic growth. McDonald Shiwayula, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Persons with disabilities in the country have commended government for increasing the Disability Trust Fund from 250 million kwacha to 2 billion kwacha and removal of customs duty on assistive devices in the new budget, which was presented in Parliament by Minister of Finance Joseph Manamveka. In an interview with Embassy, Vice Chairperson for the Malawi Council for Disability, Makoda, Vincent Ranjao, said the increase of the Disability Fund will help to reach out to more persons with disabilities who are needy.
I'm very overwhelmed and so happy because in the first place, the Disability Trust Fund was at low price. Sometimes we were getting 100 million, it jumped into 250 million. Now we are talking of 2 billion, and also we are talking of 250 million for grants for people with disabilities. So here we are so happy, and I'm so happy as one of them, and also as the vice chairperson for Makoda, I'm so happy because we have been advocating for this for quite a long time with other organizations for persons with disabilities. Now finding it happening today, we thank the dynamic leadership of His Excellency the State President Professor Zachitika Mutharika and the Minister of Gender and also the Minister of Finance for listening to our prayers, and now the dream now is coming true.
Commenting on the same, disability activist Latim Madenje said the exemption of duty on the items will make the equipment and devices more affordable, enabling many people with disabilities to access tools that support them to actively participate in the country's socio-economic development.
Assistive devices are an opening into an open affair which we call inclusivity. You can do whatever you do, then you can be employed in any other department, you can indulge in any format of business, so that when we talk of inclusivity, definitely this budget is opening up into inclusivity, real inclusivity, not inclusivity where we're just talking about. This is real inclusivity because we are talking about availability of devices which people need to function. So hands up, definitely we thank them, and we hope that this is just a mere beginning.
The Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority (MERA), in collaboration with the Malawi Bureau of Standards and the Malawi Revenue Authority (MRA), have embarked on an exercise aimed at enforcing availability of standard renewable energy products on the market. Speaking after inspecting traders that are selling renewable energy products in Blantyre, Senior Renewable Energy Specialist for MERA, Frank Mpulubulu, described the inspection as a mixed bag, saying other traders are complying with the set regulations whilst others are not. We have a report by Geoffrey Jinawa.
In a bid to increase access to electricity, government is employing a number of approaches. One of them is making renewable energy products affordable by removing import tax. With the growing market of renewable energy products, 3 public institutions, MERA, MRA, and MBS, have teamed up to ensure that such products are of quality standards. To ensure this, MERA and MBS have commenced a market inspection initiative. Speaking after commencing the inspection in Blantyre, Senior Renewable Energy Specialist for MERA, Frank Mpulubulu, said there is a need for stricter adherence to regulations in the sector, as access to energy is one of the enablers of development in a country. Mpulubulu said substandard renewable energy products pose accident risks to people and property, hence the enforcement.
In regulation, this is where we have got enforcement framework, where we have got the procedures where we check these products out there so that we should protect Malawians. You know that these products need to be safe, but also should have high quality standards. So in this case, we are targeting whereby when people buy these products should perform as they have been specified behind it. So we have got the templates. So in this case, for example, a panel is 100 watts. So we expect that that panel should indeed produce 100 watts when it is performing. So in this case, that's what we are checking. But also, sometimes energy is dangerous. They deal with batteries. So sometimes batteries can burst and the like if they are of low standards. So in this case, they will damage lives of people, property of people. So being in public institutions, we need to protect Malawians from those dangers again.
In his remarks, Senior Certification Officer for MBS, Masozi Mwenefumbo, said their institution has the necessary capacity to ensure adherence to standards in the renewable energy sector.
As Malawi standards, we are always committed under the Embassy Act to work in line with our mandate, but also in collaboration with other stakeholders like MERA and MRA to ensure that the market is cleansed of substandard products. And we are continuing to carry out our own even independent market surveillances. Some of our teams, as I'm talking, are already on the ground doing similar exercises. So it is our commitment to make sure that Malawi is cleansed from any substandard products.
Some of the products under inspection are solar panels, solar batteries, and solar bulbs. Jeffrey Shinawa, MBC News, Blantyre.
There was commotion and unrest around Shoprite area on Monday morning in Lilongwe as minibus touts fought for a touting spot commonly known as ngodi. Police had to come in to calm the situation, which disturbed commuters and those going to work and business places. When embassy visited Shoprite minibus terminal, it was empty with the presence of the police. One of the minibus touts, Zachitika, told embassy that they were surprised to see their colleagues from Labour minibus terminal coming unarmed with panga knives in an attempt to snatch their terminal. For his part, spokesperson for Lilongwe Police, Hastings Jigaru, said police have since managed to restore order and have invited both parties for a discussion.
We just received a report that there were some frag at the Shoprite where people do ply their trade, their loading trade, where there is a minibus depot there. So after that, we managed to intervene and managed to quell the situation. So as we are speaking, CAM has returned to the place, and for your information, we've invited both sides to come here at police, that we should have a round table discussion so that we should find a lasting solution. We want to hear from both sides what is the problem. So after hearing what the problem is, then we'll map the way forward so that they should coexist here in town. We don't want any kind of lawlessness here in town. So this is why we managed to respond quickly, and we are there. We want to make sure that there is calm, there is peace. People are able to do whatever they've come here in town to do without any disturbance. So we'll be there 24/7 to monitor the situation, but we can assure you that we'll manage to have them to have a lasting solution. So this is what we can say, but we don't have any more details apart from what I've said, but we hope to hear more if they come and we hear from both sides.
Meanwhile, police have arrested 3 people after they wanted for others during the commotion. Police have since identified the suspects as Patrick Alex, aged 22, Buba Muhammad, 26, and Awali Salimu, 24. According to spokesperson for the Central West Police, Foster Benjamin, during the fight, 4 innocent people were hacked, including a 28-year-old woman. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, has challenged district councils to embrace a multi-sectoral approach in supporting climate-displaced populations. IOM National Disaster Risk Reduction Officer Master Simon made the remarks in Mangoji after presenting a project under the banner Response to Climate Displacement in Sub-Saharan Africa. In Malawi, IOM intends to construct evacuation centers and provide sustainable livelihoods for displaced communities in a number of districts, including Mangoji. Sotindazi has compiled this report, being read by Owen Mabula.
Climate-displaced populations are individuals or communities forced to leave their homes due to the impacts of climate change, such as extreme weather events, rising water levels, and resource scarcity. In Malawi, such occurrences are common in rainy seasons and mostly affect and displace households in many districts. In response to such climatic shocks, The International Organization for Migration is set to carry out interventions focusing on population displaced by climate-related occurrences in sub-Saharan Africa with financial support from European Union, and Malawi is one of the beneficiaries. Speaking when he presented the project to Mangochi District Council, National Disaster Risk Reduction Officer for International Organization for Migration in Malawi, Master Simon, said the project will involve key stakeholders including the Department of Disaster Management Affairs and district councils in selected districts of Msanje, Chikwawa, Mangochi, Mulanje, Palombe, Blantyre and Dowa.
Important that we engage the council to brief them, to inform them, and also maybe to get some feedback in terms of how the situation is currently, so that maybe as we start implementation, we should take note of anything that the council would suggest, but also would like the council to support us because it's a political arm of the council. Therefore, they also have a very important role to mobilize the communities that will be targeted in the program, but also making sure that they check on us in terms of accountability on how the funds are being used and all that. So we expect the council really to play an important role in this project.
On his part, Director of Economic Planning and Development for Mangochi District Council, Newton Muntali, commended the organization for selecting the district to be among the beneficiaries.
To crown it all, I think the project is going to make our communities resilient, to this climatic shock, and it will reduce the cases of displacement within the communities. So, which means we will not have a lot of migration from one community to the other due to climatic shock.
Areas of traditional authorities Makanjira, Chowe, Chimala and Jalasi in Mangochi are expected to benefit from the project.
This is MBC News and you are with me, Evelis Chingambe. A reminder of our top stories. President Mutharika issues an executive order mandating all public places to provide and maintain waste disposal facilities. 3 government agencies embark on an exercise aimed at enforcing availability of standard renewable energy products on the market. And in sports, the Football Association of Malawi, FAM, describes the decision to raise annual subvention for elite clubs as crucial in ascertaining professionalism. Welcome back. All is set for the 2026 Southern Africa Development Community SADC 3rd Tourism, Education and Hospitality Conference to be held in Lilongwe from today to Thursday this week. General Secretary for the Organizing Committee, Kumiseka Nkandawire, said the University of Livingstone will host the conference scheduled to take place at the Bingu International Convention Center, BICC. A number of universities from SADC member countries are expected to attend. Rodolfo Nyarenda has more.
According to Mkandavire, a similar conference took place in Zimbabwe and Botswana, and they're expecting more universities in the country and region to attend, considering that it is crucial in promoting tourism and accelerate the Malawi 2063 vision on tourism, education and hospitality services.
The conference is important because this conference is on tourism and hospitality, education. So we are bringing stakeholders in the tourism and hospitality industry to meet the universities and training institutions in tourism and hospitality. One of the key areas that the Vision 2063 emphasizes is the issue of tourism. So we feel, I think it's much in order, and even the direction that the universities should take should be towards fulfilling that vision.
Matthias Nyondo, Head of Business Management Studies at Uniria, said the conference is a golden opportunity for universities planning to start offering tourism and hospitality program.
school which is coming up with this program, we're going to come up with a curriculum that is going to help us be more practical in nature and is going to make us much different from the other curriculums that we've had from other universities, which has been more theoretical in nature. So we're looking at an interface with the industry at a bigger ground, so we have more issues that are affecting the industry, and we incorporate that into our curriculum.
The second Hospitality and Tourism Education Conference in Southern Africa, which was held in Botswana in March 2025, focused on improving vocational training, addressing skills gaps, and increasing tourist safety and sector. Rudovico Nyerenda, MBC News, Muzuzu.
The ruling Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, has spoken of the need for the electorate to vote for the party's candidates to support President Mutharika's development agenda. DPP Vice President for the North, Japi Muhango, was speaking during a series of meetings conducted in Rumpi Central constituency. Alex Mongosi has filed a report being read by Jackson Sijali.
Addressing people in Rumpi Central constituency, Muhango said Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika's government has lined up a number of development activities for the country in general and the Rumpi district in particular. Japi Muhango, who is also Minister of Transport and Public Works, said the DPP government agenda is to improve people's lives and recover the country's ailing economy. He then called on people in Rumpi Central constituency to vote for Walita Mkandawile, who will support the president's vision of transforming the country.
Well, to appeal to people of Rumpi Central to come out in their numbers come 17th of March. Cast their vote for Walita Mkandawile, who is the candidate for the Democratic Progressive Party, the party led by His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, for various reasons. One is that he is a bona fide member of the party, and we believe that being a party in government, he would be the best ambassador for the professor in as far as development is concerned in Rumpi Central. We believe that he's got what it takes. He's got the acumen that would help bring development in this area. For reasons that, one, he's from here, resident at Rumpi. He is not an imported candidate.
Deputy Minister of Health Charles Chilambula said people should vote for the DPP candidate because government has plans to upgrade a number of health facilities, including Kanyerere and others in Rumpi.
As we are upgrading the facilities, we need more people. It might not be directly the Minister of Health itself in recruiting, but we can have partners. Like in the past, we have had Global Fund, which has recruited a lot of health workers in the system. Those ones were paid by Global Fund, but through the government of Malawi. So when the budget is passed, we shall be able to give the clear direction of that. But be assured that the Minister of Health will surely be able to get more workers.
Rumpi Central constituency fell vacant following the appointment of Right Honorable Enoch Chihana as second Vice President of the country, and the by-election is scheduled to take place on 17th of March. Also gracing the meetings was the DPP Regional Governor for North, Christopher Mzomera Ngwira, who is also Presidential Advisor on Parliamentary Affairs.
The Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Alfred Kangata, has described the National Records and Archives Services as a key department in promoting good governance through proper record keeping. Kangata made the remarks during an interface with the Association of Records Managers and Archivists, ARMA, Malawi, to discuss ongoing initiatives in the records management sector. The association, which comprises members from both the public and private sectors, was established to promote effective records management systems in the country. In his remarks, Kangata said proper record keeping enhances transparency and accountability as it enables the public to track development in institutions.
Each and every ministry, it has their own programs
It has some information that they generate, supposed to be keeping, but as you are aware, it's very difficult, for the institution that they can manage or keep the records properly. So this association, it encourages people or organization to help the institution, to help us how we can manage to keep the information.
Football Association of Malawi President Fleetwood Haya says the decision to raise annual subvention for elite clubs is crucial as clubs strive for professionalism. Haya said this over the weekend as he announced that clubs will this year receive 35 million kwacha as a starter pack, up from 20 million kwacha which they got last year.
We do appreciate the rise in terms of operation cost of the teams, but we're also looking at the welfare of the players. We want to make sure that our players are well looked after. Apart from that, we are also talking about professionalizing of our football. If indeed we want our clubs to have proper offices, we want them to employ people that can manage the day-to-day operations of the club in the standards that FAM wants, in the standard that FIFA wants. We thought as Football Association we should come in and help them in professionalizing their clubs. And we believe that this money is going to change the lives of our players, is going to change the way the clubs run their clubs, and also is going to cushion the issues of their operating expenditures.
And that's it from our newsroom this morning. A recap of our top stories before we leave. President Mutharika issues an executive order mandating all public places to provide and maintain waste disposal facilities. 3 government agencies embark on an exercise aimed at enforcing availability of standard renewable energy products on the market. And in sports, the Football Association of Malawi, FAM, describes the decision to raise annual subvention for elite clubs as crucial in ascertaining professionalism. For more news, visit Embassy Digital on Facebook, X and Instagram. You've been with me, Evelis Jingambe. Thanks for watching and good morning.
Good morning, and it's time for weather forecast. We are currently still expecting mostly cloudy conditions to persist over the country, accompanied by isolated thunderstorms and rains, which will be heavy in some areas. We are also expecting occasional windy conditions, especially this afternoon. This is all due to the influence of unstable easterly air mass coming from the Indian Ocean and influencing these activities over us. This is why this morning, cloudy conditions are persisting in some areas over the country, accompanied by isolated thunderstorms and rains in some areas, especially over the north. Temperatures are also still feeling mild this morning over most areas in the central as well as the northern part of the country, but it's warm in some areas over the south, such as Ngabu and Nsanje at 25 degrees Celsius and 23 over Mangoshi. This afternoon, we should expect mostly cloudy conditions to persist over the southern part of the country, accompanied by isolated thunderstorms and rains in some areas such as Mulanje and Zomba, and similar conditions are also expected over the central as well as the northern part of the country. Temperatures are also expected to remain warm this afternoon over most areas in the central as well as the northern part of the country, but hot temperatures will be persisting over the south in areas such as Ngabu and Nsanje at 32 degrees Celsius and 30 over Mangoshi. I'm Tabua Kutamudu. Be wise, be weatherwise.